Well, we like to call it the Batcave, the Composite Batcave. We were based on an ex-US Air Force. Basically, it was a blank sheet of paper, so 10,000 square foot, we ended up with at least a 4x capability. The next biggest problem is making sure that we've got the people to scale. So we actually had about 200 people apply. 8 people actually ended up getting the job. The BAMD Training Academy is we're effectively employing the attitude and then we're training the skills.
Oh, I started in 1979. Now, like I say, it's time to give something back.
So a skills factory.
Hopefully. No pressure, boys.
We are here starting the tour of UK, and I'm very excited to be at BAMD Composite on this airfield. Very special building, and we will be welcomed by Adam, the founder, to discover what BAMD Composite is doing and will do in the future. Here we have Adam, one of the founders. Hi Adam.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us today.
Thanks for coming.
So we heard that you have fantastic new venue, new facility here.
Well, we like to call it the Batcave, but yeah.
The Batcave.
Composite Batcave.
So let's call it the Composite Batcave. Let's move in and you will tell us a bit more about the story in the interview we'll run afterward.
Yeah.
But now we are jumping right into where it happens.
We were based on an ex-US Air Force base, so it's got some quirky buildings. The Americans didn't skimp on any concrete, so they've got good foundations. 3 years ago, we decided that our existing facility had basically capped our revenue. We couldn't grow any further, it was too small. So we took the opportunity to take on board one of these hangars. And basically it was a blank sheet of paper. So you've got 10,000 square foot of completely open space with no uninterrupted sort of walls, etc. And we were able to make our process flow through the building with a brand new sort of layout for a facility. So what we wanted to do was for everything from the material arriving and immediately going into a freezer, walking all the way through the process and around the building to a part leaving us and going into the customer.
So you have one entry and one exit point, which is the same.
Exactly.
And then you are rotating
all the way
around the building.
So the material and the parts and the flow of the process works from left all the way around to the right. So starts off in a walk-in freezer, so hugely oversized. It's very important that when we set this facility up, we ended up with at least a 4x capability. Currently, with the current sort of staff and run rate, we're at about a 20% capacity on the actual facility itself. So our kit cutting room, currently we are using it with one kit cutting operator. We have 2. But all of our operators are multi-skilled. They can go into different departments and work through the whole process. So wherever those people are needed, they can move into and onto the next process.
Maybe going back to the material topic. So what kind of materials are you using?
So predominantly we are using prepreg. This entire business is built around low volume prepreg composites. So we have dabbled in many other processes in the past, but low volume prepreg is our niche. It's where we specialize and it's what we do the best. So we cut our own kits, we digitize our own templates, we produce our kits, put them into the freezer, and then the clean room takes on the kit and moves on to the actual part component. We've got an airlock where obviously everyone goes in through the airlock and cleans their shoes off, etc., before they go into the clean room. We're laminating a range of components in medical, aerospace, defense, military. The predominant projects that we do are motorsport and automotive. Yep. So very much hypercar programs, GT3, GT4 race cars, that sort of thing. So the components are laminated in this room. They come out of a secondary airlock and move into a little holding area where they'll then go into one of the autoclaves. Again, from a capacity perspective, the autoclaves are at about 15% capacity at the moment. So we have capability to produce components from 4.8 by 2.4 meters in our biggest clave through to our sort of medium-sized clave, which is 3.7 by 1.7. And then we've got a lovely little small Rodwell machine, which actually probably gets used the most. We get a lot of components through that one. The parts then get broken out and they go into our trim shop. So we've got heavy trim, light trim, and assembly on the right. Heavy trim, obviously, as the name implies, we're making lots of dust in here, producing, again, large components if we need to. every room has got some very large doors, so we can get large components. Anything that can go into the biggest autoclave can go into each of the departments, either on the bench or lifted through the doors.
And typically, to come back to the company, how many people are working here currently?
We have about 30 people at the moment, but as we'll talk about later, we've got our trainee academy that we're bringing new sort of young talent through the company to basically create our own future workforce. Parts will obviously come through heavy trim, light trim, bonded assembly, and then they'll come out into an inspection area where they'll then get tested and checked before they then go on to the customer.
Yeah, and we see obviously a lot of tooling. So tooling you would get supplied by suppliers here in this Motorsport Valley.
We're in Motorsports Valley, so we've got maybe 6 machine shops that we're currently using, of which there's probably still another 6, another 10 within half an hour drive of us. So there's no need for us to become our own machine shop. We'll let someone else continue to be the experts of that. So we genuinely we'll get the tools in, we'll receive them, we'll inspect them first. We'll then do our own tool sealing in-house. We've got a spray booth and a finishing shop. We'll then make our own carbon tools in-house as well to our own specifications and make sure that those tools are perfect before we then make the first part. We like to take a lot of pride in our tools. It's basically the first stage towards having a quality component, and then looking after and maintaining that tool is also really important. We've inherited jobs before where the tools have been of very low quality, and it's no wonder that company who had that tool couldn't make a quality part out of it. So maintaining and keeping tooling alive is really important.
Yeah. So you really have a holistic approach. So basically, if a customer even faces some challenges in making parts, you can start at the engineering level and supply the final parts ready to be assembled.
So generally speaking, we're a total solutions provider. We don't just make a component and ask no questions. We have no interest in doing that, really. One of the most important things for us is that we are delivering value to our customers. So having a sort of a total solutions outlook on whether it's from a concept through to a finished component. Maybe we want to make a component that is lighter or more cost effective for the customer. We can basically tweak and develop that process for them.
With a broad understanding in designing, manufacturing, different materials approaches.
Yeah. Well, it's really important as well that we come down to the experts on the floor, get their knowledge and bring it back up to a design and sort of product level. Because ultimately, if they can't make it or there's a problem with making it the way that we've asked them to make it, that feedback loop is really important. Putting the skills and knowledge that we've all learned over the last 15 years of being in business back into the design of the products has ultimately got an incredible value behind it.
Means you are all together in the same building.
Exactly.
Be it management, engineering, makers.
Exactly that.
Cool.
Should we talk about Training Academy?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's move up to the workforce machine.
So obviously we've now ticked the box on having a facility that has the capacity to scale. The next biggest problem is making sure that we've got the people to scale, because ultimately the people are just as much of the machine as the facility is. So one of the things that we used to do all the time at BAMD is we'd always bring up our trainees into positions and elevate them in through the business. So point in question, Sam was my first employee. He's now the managing director of the business. He does a better job than I would do of running it. Our heads of departments were trainees as well when they first started at BAMD. And really what we're trying to do with this department here is create the next generation of employees for BAMD. We feel really strongly that actually we need to impart that wisdom, that knowledge that we've learned over the last 10, 15 years of being in business. So what we're doing with BAMD Training Academy is we're effectively employing the attitude, employing the person, and then we're training the skills. But we're doing it in a way where they're not under pressure. Because if you put someone who doesn't know how to do prepreg laminating into an environment like that, they're going to fail. And it's just a natural sort of reaction to being under pressure with expensive material in your hands. Sure. So this room has been specifically built and the staff inside have been specifically brought in to impart really solid wisdom of how you actually laminate and create carbon components, but without the stress of the production environment.
Okay, and tell us a bit more about why did you start this program and how did you approach it? Because we spoke with Sam before. He told us within 6 months you went from the idea to the program.
Yeah.
What does it mean when you have the idea, and how do you find those people? How many people did apply? How many people are you now training?
Yeah. So we actually had about 200 people apply for our first cohort of the BAMD Training Academy. I think we interviewed about 40 people, and we got that down to about 8 people who actually ended up getting the job. So this is a paid training course. We estimate that they'll take between 2 and 3 months to get to the point where they can actually make a real component and be profitable. But the main thing is that we have this nice steady flow of young talent coming into the business. It's important to note that actually a lot of people in the industry think they know everything, and a lot of the time they'll say they can do things and they'll come and they'll make you a lot of scrap. And scrap rate's incredibly high in this industry, and we don't want that. So what we wanted to do with this particular department is teach them the BAMD way of doing things. And we want for that BAMD way to be about quality, about consistency, and about making sure that you care. When you bag that component up and it goes in the autoclave, the probability of that component coming out really well is very high. And that's why we've brought in some really decent trainer, Dave, who's he's got over 47 years of experience, right on cue.
Yeah.
And Dave's been imparting his knowledge, and what he is bringing to the table here is that we've got someone who doesn't need to do this. He's come out of retirement to effectively use his time wisely and give his skills to the next generation.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, as we caught Dave trying to escape, maybe a few words about what motivated you in this project to come back from retirement.
Well, I've known Adam and Sam for quite a long time. I originally came in with that autoclave to help them set up the prepreg side of things, because they were generally doing help and
Resin infusion
and like that. By then I'd already got a lot of experience. I'd been running the company that came from. And as far as what you're saying about what motivates me is to be able to see these lads end up downstairs, and then in a good living, you know,
in a good industry,
and a chance for me to pass on a wealth of experience. Something I've always said to him, the one thing I want to do before I retire is make sure there's other people that can do what I can do. So, and there I am, just, week 3, the lads are doing okay. So yeah, as long as they listen, they'll get there. Yeah.
And you say wealth of experience. How many years have you spent in the composites industry?
Oh, I started in 1979, so 47. Yeah, this is my 47th year working in composites. I've done Formula 1, I've done IndyCars, I've done Le Mans cars, touring cars, you name it. I've done the lot, and now, like I say, it's time to give something back. Yeah.
Very nice initiative.
Yeah.
And now we are going to jump right into the academy.
Yeah, go and meet the boys and see
young boys are doing.
Yeah, they'll be rushing off home soon, so you need to catch them before they go.
Sure. Thank you, Dave.
No worries.
We've brought real parts into the building to actually laminate with, because there's no point doing it on components that aren't real. And they're working on everything from motorsport components through to medical components. Essentially, whichever industry we're in, we're always looking at bringing in different components into this building, different components into the training academy, so that we can get as much experience into their hands as possible. So not just about learning, different materials, but also learning about different laminating procedures. Maybe there's different drawings to read, and all of that sort of learning it's not just about the composites, it's actually also about what the client is looking for. It might be that there's a different visual quality standard that we need to adhere to, and basically preparing them for life downstairs in the clean room.
And so you're setting up this in terms of cohorts. So how do you plan to?
So this is
this rotating.
This is the first cohort. We see this as first and foremost a requirement for our business. First and foremost, that's the priority, is to bring people into this business. But we're also talking to our customers and our competitors as well, who also are looking for a training service. So this room will be dedicated to that for, I believe, at least the next 2 to 3 years. And we will hit a threshold where we either don't need to scale anymore, or it may have already become its own business. I think this could be a very positive thing, not just for the industry, but for other companies as well.
So a skills factory.
Hopefully. No pressure, boys.
Yeah, so Adam, thanks so much for touring through this pretty new factory. And yeah, we learned basically when we came, we arrived, we thought you're a part manufacturer, then we discovered you're a solution provider, total solution provider. Now we saw that you are also producing skills, so building skills on the next generation for yourself, but also for the ecosystem, which yeah, I'm very convinced it's a great way to approach. I mean, as you say, I mean, they are competitors, and I mean, coming from motorsports, all these people, they are competing, but they are passionate.
Yeah.
So at the end, it's about passion, and it's a shared passion. So even if they are brands and different companies, then I think intrinsically people love the same things. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it's a great initiative, and it will grow nicely. And it's part of your growth engine. I mean, you also said you moved to this facility and you do all these initiatives to grow your company.
Yep.
But then obviously also the surroundings, so the entire ecosystem. And yeah, therefore, thanks a lot for opening your doors. It's been quite a while I wanted to come, and it's impressive to arrive on this yeah, airfield, basically, finding this building from the outside looking like a piece of concrete, and from the inside being surprised of seeing a very modern facility with yeah, cool people doing cool stuff.
That's what we like.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And see you in a few minutes in the interview.
Yep.
And see you soon around the world.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.